What's going on, guys? Good morning, everyone. Hope you guys are all having a good start to your day. Super volatile pre-markets heated up really strong in the last hour or so. I've been up for about 3.5 hours. I couldn't get much sleep since I took a pretty solid nap yesterday. But I ended up trading EDHL and pre-market earlier today. On this move up, my entries were like really early, like 3.2 and whatnot. And currently I'm up around $4,000 on the day, as you guys can see. I took a $500 loss trading ticker symbol BAOS. Just stopped out there. I tried to ride the momentum on the way up, but yeah, so far pretty solid. EDHL was a very nice winner for me, and I think that it fit the theme perfectly, and that's why as soon as I saw it, I just slapped it really early on in the morning, mainly because the theme that the market has been really pushing has been super oversold tickers, stocks that have a solid wick fill, which means they had, it's had to have run in the past. Multi-day runners are a very big topic, and I'll get into that later on some stocks that I'm watching into market open, mainly based off of multi-day. And most importantly, had a recent reverse split. I'm not sure when the reverse split was, but I know it was last 3 months. It's oversold and super thin as well. So as soon as I saw it running in pre-market, there was really nothing else going at the time. Everything was consolidating. So saw a volume spike, and I'll show you guys where I added it. Oh, my bad. I actually ended up trading it a couple different times. Right at 4 a.m. is when Thinkorswim opens. I wonder if there's a way on Thinkorswim where I could show you guys like my entries and my exits. I'll look into that in a little bit when we identify some candidates. We'll just do a quick little recap, and then if that's possible. But EDHL, I think I added it probably on this candle right here, really just a minute or two after market opened. Mainly because, it fit the theme perfectly well. That's really the key here. You take a look at the 1 hour, and there's a wick to fill all the way at $9. We also ran previously a couple days ago, so it has that momentum. It's a multi-day runner, and that's been so important for us. Every single day for the last 2 weeks, multi-day runners, super crucial. Recent reverse split, that fits the theme. Low float, super oversold. So really altogether, I saw it. I was like, oh, this is just gonna go right. In this market, you look at something with no volume and think, oh, it's gonna be so hard for this to catch. I think that's a terrible mentality. Anything could catch, right? Anything could just out of nowhere absolutely skyrocket. So that's kind of the mentality I had, and I traded a couple different times. I think my first time trading it was right around here, sold on the way up somewhere pretty early at like 350, and then I ended up taking this dip and rode it all the way back up to like 470, and I missed that move right there. Anyway, so that was a recap of my day, and so far. And market's heated up a lot since. We see a lot more runners now, so much more happening, so that's good. It's the first day where we have the no PDT rule, so a lot of people are expecting the market to be super hot and exciting. So many different runners, everyone's excited. I'm expecting it to be super choppy, and that's expected. If it's a hot market, chop is very normal, and just my whole mentality on chop is I'm just going to avoid it. So as of right now, unless something changes my mind into market open, I'm more than likely going to be avoiding any breakout trades, really, unless I see something setting up that I have really strong conviction in. I'm looking around right now, and I don't see anything really. Besides EDHL, which really isn't a momentum trade at this point anymore. It's fallen off and headed back all the way to 3.2, which is almost where it began that run. So I'm also gonna pull up MOBX. MOBX, I I think is going to be a very, very solid momentum watch for the day, alongside SBEV, just setups that can set up. There's so much happening right now that it's very, very chaotic. So like we've been doing, I think you guys are kind of used to the program right now. We're just going to take it chill. And just wait till volume starts to dry out, and then from there hopefully get an accumulation trade going. If a momentum trade sets up something with super high volume, I would also be very open to trading it and just cutting profit really quickly, more like a scalp, because of the chop that I'm expecting today. So we'll be in and out of things. Any momentum trade I take, I'll be in and out. Oh, MOBX, wow, that's a crazy move there in that 1 minute. So yeah, I'm gonna keep scanning for a little bit. I'm almost done, and then we'll talk about some accumulation candidates, some multi-day runner candidates, and go from there. But right off the bat, I thought I had it pulled up. Right off the bat, TURB. You guys know we traded this yesterday. It was very nice to us. I think that it's beautiful. It really is. And I told you guys yesterday that, if it doesn't end up reaching 214, I'm going to watch it. Multi-day runners are a huge, huge topic. We see them happen every single day. So the way it's holding up into market open right now is super, super attractive to me. But it gaining volume, obviously, that's the most crucial part to me. And as soon as it starts to pick up, I definitely will be very attentive to whatever's happening, the other tickers, where the volume's at the moment. And I would love to trade it if it sets up and continues accumulating, holding up. I think there's a wick to fill all the way up to 214, and it could potentially go a lot more than that, really. So as long as it's holding up and it still has appeal, then it will be on my watch for into tomorrow as well. So just let the chop ride out. MOBX. I'm a big fan of MOBX. 290 especially, I think this can hold and could be huge, really. So if I were to trade a momentum trade today, I think I'd be looking right at MOBX and pretty much nothing else. Pull that up right here. And I would keep it very, very tight as well. So I took some MOBX here. I think that this could see a push to high day. I'm looking for a scalp type trade, really. I'm not chasing, much further than 320. I think 320 would be very ideal. It has a wick to fill, 320. Further than that, it could go all the way to 450 plus, which is why I think that 320 would be a very ideal level for me. You see FOXX is ripping right now, alongside really just FOFO, and that's about it. STI is halted up, and so I think with the way MOBX has been uptrending in pre-market, it could be a very solid momentum trade. And again, just a scalp, so I'm not going to be holding this for a while. It's either I cut it short, pretty quickly in the next minute or so, or I ride it up to 320. And realistically, until it loses its appeal, I would say under 2.8, then I'll probably still be here. So this really, the right way to look at this, I would say, is, buyers stepping in, demand at 2.8 needs to be very, very strong. And I think even if we do push up back to, 3 or whatever, 299, where my average is, I'll more than likely probably now scale out, because I was looking for a momentum breakout, but now I see that FOXX is just absolutely skyrocketing. So I'll see how it sets up. I think that this could definitely turn into an accumulation trade, which is something I don't want it to. I was looking for more of a scalp on this trade. I think it's a little too early to be in an accumulation trade. I think I'm going to have to deal with a lot of chop if I am. But we'll see how it sets up, and clearly now it's gone from scalp into wait and see how it sets up, more of an accumulation trade, which I think this absolutely fits the vibe of that. Otherwise, I really wouldn't have taken it. And yeah, as long as we see very solid demand above 2.8, then it's still in play for sure. So I'm cutting some MOBX right here under 2.8. It looks a little bit weak. I don't see many buyers stepping in. All right, yeah. So now it's all the way down to 2.7. That was a little rough. I was expecting a breakout there on MOBX. I thought the way it's been building up and accumulating in pre-market, we're gonna see that push to 3.2. But super choppy, like I said. Definitely was a little risky, but I honestly did think that we were going to see that breakout. I'm watching NEXR as well. So NEXR, YYGH, and STI. Three. Really, STI is just going to dictate where the volume rotates. And sorry, hold on. YYGH 0.22. Okay, so YYGH. We're going to fill all the way. Okay, so let me switch back to the 4 charts here. So MOBX, until it reclaims 2.8, it's out of play, but I'll keep it on the side for now for some sort of accumulation trade later on into the day. I think that ideally I'm going to want to stick to something that's a multi-day runner, such as Turb, because that's what the theme has been, but still MOBX could definitely set up potentially. So NEXR. So MOBX is clearly now reclaiming 280. Like I said at the beginning of the live stream, really, it's like every single day. When we have a day that's filled with momentum, we're going to expect a lot of chop. We just got chopped out on MOBX, literally. So there's no way to prevent something like this. Proper risk management would have been sell under 280. That was the level I needed to see demand come in there. It looked very weak on the tape. There were no buyers stepping in. So I like the setup a lot. I really do. But in order to avoid chop, I'm only interested in trading 2 types of setups. One of them is a scalp, which is what I was aiming for on MOBX, especially with the momentum into market open. And the other one is an accumulation trade, something so low volume that no one's paying attention to, such as ticker symbol TURB, the stock that we traded yesterday. So the way that it's setting up now, it has too much momentum, and even if it approaches 3, unless everything else starts to die out, which would be very, very unlikely, I don't see myself trading MOBX for now. YYGH, wow. TURB. Also, DBGI has to be probably my top watch in terms of a momentum trade. That's also a multi-day runner. DBGI on the daily is just absolutely explosive. It has so much momentum. It's a very familiar name. So if this starts to pick up today, I'm definitely going to try to catch in on that action. I missed out on it yesterday. It started running a little bit later into the day, and I was super, super tired. So I just caught it a day or, pretty early, like 2 hours in. So NEXR right now is probably my top candidate to overtake the volume and just become a very, very massive momentum runner. Just the way it's setting up, the way it grabbed liquidity under 115, there was massive demand there, and really now it's set up. It's got the liquidity it needs to be able to push to a high day move, and that was huge shot there, massive SL rate as well. So huge liquidity grabbed, and overall, really, we see that so many different stocks are just fighting for the volume now. I think we see FOXX start to slow down, maybe even start to see a pullback on tickers like EDHL. Even the small pop tickers are, still heavyweight in the overall volume of the market. EDHL is popping as well right now. So NEXR, EDHL, momentum trades. Two of them super valid, so we'll keep watching. Imagine MOBX all the way back up to 560. That would be huge. MOBX starting to look a little better now. Very nice setup here. Super, super nice. Coming back to this is will be a very difficult decision, but you know, if it sets up right and my conviction is there, then I don't see why not. Also, EDHL, these dips getting swallowed up, right? So much demand there, under $4 after only one breakout, and it has room all the way to highs. So I think we're going to soak up a little bit. I'm going to start adding EDHL slowly just in case it creates a push over 4. But I think that it could set up later into the day as well, and just slowly start to build up and creep up to 5. I think really it's not crowded, which is going to play a very, very big part in not getting chopped out as I did in MOBX. And NEXR, both of these tickers, super, super crowded, whereas EDHL is super thin, and the way it was trading in pre-market when I traded it as well, it's just absolutely explosive. So I don't see why not. This goes all the way back up to high day. I do think it's possible, especially if we see the top gainers start to slow down a little bit. I'm not gonna full size EDHL yet. I'm gonna wait it out, just accumulate slowly, and really just try to maintain image of the other stocks before getting in on a full size position. And really, while I'm in, you know, these chaotic trades, just still TURB. Oh, I don't even have it pulled up here. I have it on the side. I want the momentum trades for you guys so you guys don't get bored. But TURB, multi-day runner, DBGI multi-day runner. I'm going to do some more scanning in a little bit. Multi-days usually go on, you know, they run later in the day. So I sold MOBX just because I see that NEXR is breaking out above 1.3, and I don't want to get caught here on a very choppy run from 350 to 375. So if it sets up later, I'll add it back. I think I'm going to take a step back a little bit. I'm a little tired right now and been up since 3 in the morning, so I think these are trades that I don't think I would usually take, but I think that today there's just so many breakouts happening, especially in pre-market. Saw so many breakouts happening across the board that, you know, I'm trying to catch a very strong, very, very strong runner, but I think I'm gonna shift my attention to just my usual setup of low volume, low accumulation, and just wait that out. Wait until the volume dries out and then full send that. Sorry guys, I apologize. So we're down to 2,000 a day in profit right now instead of 4. Gave back $2,000 in gains, but we're gonna bring it back. Just gonna be a little more patient. I feel like I was rushing into a couple trades today that normally I wouldn't take, and yeah, at least no PDT rules. So so Shifting it back to the 4 screens. NEXR, 10 cents from high day. MOBX is starting to break down. And EDHL setting up, I do think that it's still very much in play for later today. But unless it, completely dries out really, then it might not be something that I'm going to pay attention to. TURB, still top watch for later today, as well as DBGI, 2 multi-day runners. Both are completely set up, so let's take it easy and just try to find a full conviction trade. Right now it's very choppy across the board, so really nothing that I'm paying attention to in the moment. I'm just watching TURB, DBGI to set up later into the day. Oh, NEXRs could be huge, bro. This could be massive. This looks absolutely explosive. And there's high day, 150. Wow. There's 160. So I took MOBX. That was the first one I took. I ate shit on that, and then I took EDHL, and then I ate shit on that. I got chopped out on both. The very thing that I said I'm avoiding, like always, like every single day. First thing I say is let people get chopped out into market open, because I wanted a move such as NEXR. This is exactly what I was looking for, and I knew it was coming, and I knew it was going to be one of these three, and especially when YYGH died off and STI halted down. That's really why I quickly rotated from MOBX to EDHL, because MOBX broke trend. I went to EDHL because it was holding up and it was starting to break out. I thought that's what was going to dominate now that YYGH and STI were both coming down. But it was really NEXR, which was the lowest volume, really the least traded one, the least looked at one, which is like, all right, like it's kind of ironic, but from my point of view, what I wanted, going into a momentum trade that was going to absolutely explode. And what I've been noticing is that, they're very highly traded stocks in the morning in pre-market, and they have a lot of momentum. So I didn't mind the momentum on either MOBX or EDHL. And yeah, I fucked up. I took the wrong ones, and it's a perfect example of why I say every single day, don't trade anything in the market open, really, unless there's some crazy high conviction trade, which is what I was aiming for here, except I didn't have the right stock, which means my conviction wasn't nearly where it needed to be anyway. All this chop, EDHL, MOBX, YYGH, what else is, SPRC, STI, CXAI, every single one of these tickers ate shit. Of course, a lot of them are going to rebound, build up, whatever, but people got continuously chopped out only just for one stock to end up going, and that's NEXR. That's the one I was trying to find, but I ended up eating shit as well. But it's all good. TURB, as long as this is maintaining play, 1.8, 175. I'm really, really hoping this sets up and starts to push for some volume today, because I think it could be amazing. I think it's set up into something, build up into something special. NEXR, wonderful. So that's where the volume's at right now. NEXR, it's completely dominant, and that's where the volume is. So for volume to rotate, we're going to need NEXR to just start exhausting. And most importantly, I'm looking at what's holding up, what's accumulating right now. And probably in the next 5 minutes, I'll probably have, 2 to 3 stocks that I'm going to list as candidates, and we'll go from there. So MOBX completely fallen through now. Not even worth watching anymore for the day. That's it. It's just done. So forget that. Also, I would say the same about YYGH and CXAI. CXAI still could potentially be in play. Yeah. So as volume gets more and more isolated, and we see that more and more stocks are just starting to fall through, then we're going to get a more clear picture on the day and hopefully just be able to nail something from there. EDHL breaking past 3.9. I always end up coming back, bro. It's a gorgeous setup, my God. I'm going to take some. This is a riskier trade, guys. I have some cushion built up from pre-market. I would say it's a little riskier. I think that really I'm chasing the scalp all the way to 4.3. And I'm going to use my cushion from pre-market as mental leverage, really, to try to get that 4.3 breakout here. So I'm in 6,000 shares, and probably on the next test of 385, I'll either have a lot more confidence in pushing that scalp, that breakout, or a lot less confidence. And from there, I might slap a lot more or just start to scale out. So and really I'm relying on NEXR to slow down. I think that NEXR already broke past 150. It does have room for a lot more than just 2, but I think that with all the momentum in other tickers as well, FOXX, TWAV, STI, it's going to be hard to just isolate the volume in just one stock. So counting on that, and as well as the just really demands being able to step in past $4 breakout on EDHL. That's going to be very, very crucial. It's going to be hard, but I think it's more than likely to happen than not happening. 4 breakout is looking really sketchy on the tape here, but I think that as long as it's able to close above 4, we're going to see 425 on the next pop and go from there. All right, cool. At least 425 here. All right, there we go. Wonderful, solid fills as well. All right, I'm out of that trade now. I think it could definitely double top. A lot of supply sitting at 425 as well. And, you know, even if it cruises 440, 430, whatever it may be, past this whole area here, you know, reaching and being able to fill that wick at 5.5 would be such a stretch, really. So I'm not going to be willing to stick around and take that trade. I think the risk to reward from here on out just doesn't fit right with me. But I'm also very intrigued by the other setups that are setting up right now, and I don't want to be locked in on EDHL and miss something that I have full conviction in. And that also, that, you know, that plays a really big role in me being out right now and not stuck in whatever could end up happening here. I think this could get really choppy really quick. All right, back to 4K a day, 4K on the day. I should have never given that 2K originally back. Two stupid trades. I tried to catch the NEXR of the day, but you know, that definitely wasn't the right way to do it. Today is BAOS, someone said. I tried trading BAOS. It was difficult for sure, but I hope it sets up. Well, you know, I have it on my screen here, and if it does set up, we'll go for it. EDHL, awesome. Also, one thing I'm keeping an eye on, I like it. I like the way it's setting up. I think that it has potential, but I'm definitely not going to trade it today. It looks very difficult to trade as SPRC. I think this one could easily go all the way back up to high day and push $30 plus. You know, it could be one of those parabolic runners. It's setting up, grabbing liquidity. It just dipped under first 5-minute candle, market open at 13 and is breaking above it now. So I think it's too slow for me. It's too high already, too extended. And really just, it's a very nice textbook setup, especially on the 5-minute with it breaking above its 5 EMA right now. But you know, I just want to point it out in case some of you guys are interested. I'm more than likely not going to be trading it. It's because it's not really something that I feel comfortable being able to execute on. EDHL, by the way, my God, what a runner. That was solid. I think EDHL has been the breadwinner for me today. Almost 6,000 on it, and it's, you know, saved me a couple times, especially after MOBX and whatever that other one was, or actually, wow, RPGL. What the fuck? What in the world? I was watching RPGL right now, and I looked at the daily, and it was like so ugly, and I was like, yeah, what am I looking at here? But wow. So yeah, RPGL is something I would completely avoid this no matter how it sets up, just because you guys take a look at the 30-minute. Look at some huge drop from 12 to 3. So really right now is just people trying to catch a dead cat bounce, and it's probably gonna have so much volume on it. It's gonna be so aggressive, and you know, it can easily dump, easily rip, and I think usually the day after a dead cat bounce, really there's not much room as well to be able to trade it. I find that most of the time it just breaks out, you know, good 10-15%, and then is gonna have a very hard time being able to get over that. But yeah, as of right now, EDHL looks very, very dominant. Besides that, just looking to see what could possibly set up to take the volume next, and as of right now, I don't see anything for an accumulation trade that could go right now, but still setting up. I've probably said it a million times, TURB, and maybe DBGI, but that's about it. Also, ticker symbol LACE, LASE, forgot to point that one out. That one must be a watch, right? Just kind of has to be. NEXR is still in play as well until it breaks under, I would say, reasonable would be around 1.5, just because it's such a strong psychological level. So I think that people shouldn't forget about this one too quickly. And FOXX also, that one's just already at high of day, and also, you know, competing with NEXR, both of them two stocks that have broken their pre-market highs, and really that's why EDHL is struggling, because again, chop is everywhere. So many things running, right? It's going to be impossible to not get choppy. NEXR looks really, really good, especially as EDHL is starting to slow down here. And FOXX as well. I'm thinking of adding right now. It's just FOXX looks pretty threatening, pushing towards 7. And if FOXX approaches anywhere near high day and just stays dominant, then I'm going to lose some conviction in NEXR. And it'll be harder for us to get the volume we need to even push back to 211. RPGL unhalted. So FOXX, I'll pull this up for you guys. Again, super threatening, and if I were to trade NEXR while it consolidates and on this downtrend, then I would want realistically FOXX to exhaust some more and show a break of trend. Oh, EDHL, wow. That is absolutely insane. What a move. What a move. So now is a real test. Let's see how well NEXR is going to hold up. And once it reclaims 175, if it does, I think it could be explosive. EDHL, if it fills that wick all the way back up at high a day, that would be, wow, what a runner. What a runner that would be. When I traded in pre-market, when I took that entry, like bottom threes, I think it was so low, it was like 340 or something like that. I would never have thought it would be a stock that ended up dominating this hard. What a move that was, all the way back down to that same level it was consolidating at earlier, just right above 4, and just 2 candles later, boom, we got $5. That is absurd. Wow, super impressive. So FOXX, NEXR, Lace, we'll see how the 3 top gainers are going to hold up now. NEXR is the only one out of these 3 that I'm going to be willing to trade. So breaking above 170 now. So I took some NEXR. It's pretty risky, I'm not gonna lie, just due to the average that I got in the 180s. It's pretty high, but I think this could easily snap all the way back to 211. So much momentum, so much demand stepping in above 1.8 as well. I'll average down if the opportunity comes, but I think that trading this scalp opportunity here, this breakout is really plausible. I think it's solid. I got a higher average than I originally wanted. Looking at the trade from outside, I wanted 175. That would have been ideal for me, but then again, it's like, all right, 5 cents. What's that really gonna do for me? If the trade works, it's gonna work either way. A little bit on the riskier side as well. Keep that in mind, guys. It's not that ideal super high conviction trade that I'm looking for. Hopefully we're gonna get one of those. We will get one of those, God willing, later today when volume starts to dry out. But the volume is still very much present. It's spreading out throughout these top gainers. So I'm really just trying to catch certain moves on them, just like I just did with EDHL. I think that NEXR is super explosive and has so much room, especially on the 4 hour as well. It's super beaten down as of the last couple of days, and so we'll see how it sets up. Currently down $2,000, which is not too bad, not too bad. So I took some more here. Hoping for a strong lower wick here. This is, you know, very, very strong momentum trade. So there's a lot of volume here, and it could flip really, really quick. So let's see how this 175 treats us now. Hopefully we also see, you know, alongside whatever happens here on the chart, as long as NEXR holds above 175, a couple lower wicks here and there, I'm not going to be easily stopped out, really. But FOXX, super crucial. What happens to that? You know, seeing a top there at 7.3, that gave me some confidence, but it's still very much holding trend. And I think that NEXR is just so explosive. I wouldn't really be able to get any fills if I tried to trade volume rotation from this ticker. So that's why I'm in a little prematurely on NEXR on that breakout. In case FOXX dumped while it was breaking out there, I thought that was, you know, that there was a very high possibility that would happen. So I averaged up, you know, had a pretty high average, but like I said, you know, what's 5 cents, 7 cents when, you know, if the trade's going to work, it's going to work either way. And I'm thinking like this with respect to the fact that I built up some leverage from pre-market. I made a couple thousand in pre-market. So based on the fact that it is a very, very momentum favored market, I think that, you know, sizing in on a trade like this is not too bad. Also see EDHL. So EDHL, we see a lot of the pre-market runners have started to come down and exhaust. Really, it's just a few now that are competing here and there. EDHL has already filled that wick though, so I'm gonna count that out. I would count that out completely. Really, NEXR. Take a look at the 4 hour. It's so explosive, right? So much room, all the way to 320. So I think that if this starts to push up as FOXX, or starts to really just hold up mainly as FOXX loses its momentum, it could be a stock that just continues to dominate for the next hour. So that's how I see this working out, really. All right, give me 1 second. I'm gonna be right back. Hopefully this doesn't shit the bed while I'm gone. I just gotta get my food. Give me 1 second. Alright guys, I'm back. Alright, it didn't shit the bed, so it's good news. I got my food. That's even better news. I'm chilling until high day. I'm willing to risk it for the biscuit, really. It should see 211 ideally. And we also see that FOXX that $7 for FOXX is treating it a bit harshly, so that's good news. Let's see. All right, so I cut half at 2. Boom. I think I might flatten. I think I might just have to. All right, $3,700 NEXR. Whew. That one was quick. It was exciting. That was very thrilling as well. And now we are up $7,500 on the day, guys. There we go. Got some Starbucks. Got to eat up. I've been up for like 5 hours now almost, so it's been a very mentally draining day. I'm sure you guys could probably tell I'm so tired today, and I kind of messed up my sleep schedule the other night from going out. Took a nap yesterday. I wasn't able to sleep last night, and so not only am I kind of sleep deprived, I'm very mentally drained from all the pre-market action. And even the stocks that I traded into market open, whatever the fuck they were, MOBX, trash. I think EDHL was the other one. Yeah, EDHL earlier. Those two setups just really, all these setups are rather risky, honestly, but those two setups especially. I learned my lesson to really only trade the volume rotation. I was trying to capture a move just randomly out of nowhere, which is what NEXR was earlier. It was dominating. It was running even when the STI was running, even when ROLR still had some volume, making lower wicks, even when FOXX was running. So I try to catch a trade like this, and it's like I ended up focusing on stocks that weren't primed yet, and volume rotation was not there whatsoever. So I ended up eating shit. I learned my lesson, and 2 back-to-back in a row I traded EDHL and then NEXR purely based off of volume rotation. So there you go, guys. NEXR at 210. I promise y'all that high day we're gonna be here. 7,500. I think I'm gonna have to lock it here. This is, it's been a very hectic day, but very well worth it. I think actually I'm not gonna lock it here. I spoke a little too soon. I do want to stay up for either TURB or DBGI, some sort of multi-day runner, because I know it's coming. I smell it. It's been happening every single day. It's been happening left and right. So I want a multi-day runner that's accumulating and setting up while all these top gainers are running. So I'll wait it out. And FOXX, keep in mind, FOXX is pushing up now, pushing 720. So NEXR, this exhaustion here, it's perfectly normal, right? This volume rotation on FOXX is what I've been worried about. This breakout on FOXX, I've been very threatened by it. It's been very scary, very threatening, and the more this holds up, the more this pushes up, the more NEXR is going to come down. And now FOXX has come down. We'll expect NEXR hopefully to end up seeing a rebound here. I want to see this setup work out. I really do. And so I want to see this high day happen, and I want to see even more than that, really, because I know that NEXR can give it. But if something else starts dominating in the meantime and just strips the volume away from both NEXR and FOXX, I'm expecting it to be some sort of multi-day runner, and I hope we can find it. So if you guys see any multi-day runners from stock that's been running the last couple of days, something that has had volume, setting up, holding up, building volume slowly, and just just lurking around, just let me know. Send it in the chat. I'm gonna be taking some bites of food, so I'm not gonna be that locked in. What do you think about, what is that, T-Way? What is that? T-WAV. Let me check. Looks pretty good, actually. I actually kind of like that. I think it's setting up. Needs to maintain 215 and, to maintain its appeal, but it's actually a pretty solid setup. I think it's going to be pretty difficult to trade with all its chop. Look at all those upper wicks, and now especially that we know which stocks ended up running actually and which stocks the volume is rotating between. But yeah, it's actually pretty solid. Oh, I just realized I was watching that, but it was all the way to the left of my screen and super preoccupied and locked in here, so I didn't really pay attention to it. I think into market open, when it started ripping and seeing 2.5, I just moved on and didn't really pay much attention to it. DBGI, you prick. Not right now, man. I'm trying to eat. DBGI might have to be my favorite stock of all time, really. Breaking out now, so aggressive, right? If it gets it done, right? It doesn't play many games, and I love DBGI, but at the end of the day, right now at 95 cents with EDHL and NEXR and all this volume everywhere, FOXX, STIs, it's gonna be very hard to manage and thug that out. So I'm probably gonna not pay attention to it. If it ends up breaking over 1, I'll let it do its thing, but I'm not gonna be trading that. Really, I'm looking for a multi-day runner. As I've said, I'll say it one more time, just one last time, in case you guys can help me out while I eat. I'm looking for a multi-day runner that is just holding up, accumulating. I don't have my eyes on that many things. TURB needs to break above 175. SUGP, that's another one. It's pretty ugly. It's it doesn't have much appeal to it. What else do we have? What other multi-days do we have? We have YYGH already gave up all that momentum, no longer worth watching after it broke under 20 cents. Even that massive lower wick in pre-market, 17 cents, trading under that. So it lost its trend, no longer a watch. Yeah, I don't really have much going for me right now in terms of multi-day runners, but I can almost smell it, really. I can almost smell it, and I feel it approaching, and I don't want to miss it. EDHL. Oh my gosh. That's a movie right there, honestly. That is a movie. NEXR. I mean, if EDHL has done it, what, fucking 5 times now? And I see no multi-day runners. I see nothing accumulating, nothing setting up right now. I mean, all I'm saying is I don't see why not. I'm going to take some. I think this is not, you know, the most ideal situation. I'm not going to add big. I'm only in 8,000 shares. I'll grab 4,000 more because I like double-digit numbers. But I think that I'm going to just lotto these all the way till high a day. Maybe even like 2.5 if it does end up getting to 2. My whole thesis really is that EDHL is pushing up and has made these moves, these countless moves all the way to high a day numerous times. And FOXX, like I said a couple times before, 7 has been treating it. It's been very, very aggressive. 7's been destroying FOXX, and hopefully we keep it that way. Hopefully the momentum over there dries down, but NEXR has so much room all the way to 3+. I see nothing accumulating unless something comes out of nowhere and is able to dominate. I'll take the loss on NEXR. It's all good. But I think that once EDHL slows down, again, I'm even willing to add dips. I would prefer not to, but if it sets up and it's just so good looking that, you know, I of course averaging down is might be ideal in some situation, but EDHL, let that go, let it go, let it have its thing. Once it slows down, NEXR, it's holding up so well on the 5 minute, especially. I'm looking at the 5 minute on my Weeble, so I'll make it the same thing here. Just take a look at these lower wicks, you know, massive liquidity being grabbed. So it needs this liquidity for a move to the way up, just like it needed that liquidity to the upside, that it grabbed on the upside for a move down, right? So EDHL ideally either halts or slows down. I see the volume transferring into NEXR or something new. And, you know, if I see something that is setting up to take the volume next, something that's low volume, low accumulation, I'll get out of NEXR and full size that. That's the ideal situation. So EDHL, fuck me, that is ridiculous. What in the world, bro? That's absurd. Oh my gosh. Wow. I have no words for that. I'm not gonna lie. That is insane. What a move. What a move. What a move. So we should probably let it know that that's enough. We don't need any more EDHL. That's good. Thank you. Thank you. Halted? No, not yet. Fuck, guys. Wow. That is sickening. EDHL, that is absurd. Wow. Like, I want to eat, but fuck, like, we got way too much shit happening, bro. Part of me wants me to stop out on this trade just so I can enjoy some food. I'm very, very hungry. And I don't know if I can wait any longer. Oh, DBGI, dirty. Damn. It's good. Let it set up for later. I swear it seems like today I see nothing accumulating, setting up. You know, to me it seems like today is, you know, might not even be really any multi-day runner that takes over. I think it's one of these big guys, you know, NEXR, FOXX, EDHL that ends up dominating. I wouldn't be surprised at all if that ends up happening. Yeah. Yep. Also, I'm watching SUGP. I was talking about that like 15 minutes ago. It's really fucking ugly, but I don't know. For some reason, it's giving me like an itch, you know. Intuitively, it's also a multi-day runner. That's why I brought it up, but I don't know. it's really unattractive, but I just keep looking back at it for some reason. EDHL will not stop. $7. Oh my gosh, what in the world is that? What in the world is that? That's unbelievable, it really is. EDHL, no. So EDHL as of right now, to break trend, we need it to be under $6. That'd be very nice. And FOXX under 660. If both of those happen right now in the next 3 minutes, I'm gonna add $50,000 into NEXR probably. If both of those happen into the next 2 minutes. Alright, I'm gonna grab a spoon really quick. Give me like 20 seconds. Did we eat shit? Alright. Alright, we're still alive. EDHL breaking down under $6 when it loses its trend on the 1 minute. EDHL breaking down, FOXX picking up some volume. I'm a little tempted to scale out on NEXR here, just to avoid this triple top, but as I said, really I'm just gonna leave it as a lotto position. I want high day. I'm just gonna wait till high day, unless 2 supply looks pretty strong, then I'll probably change my mind there, but as of now, high day for sure. Fuck, we got FOXX. Oh shit. 190. Alright. I grabbed some more because EDHL lower wick, and I see heavy demand coming in here at 190. I think we're going to be able to grab 190 on the 1 minute, and if this closes above 190, I think, oh gosh, it's going to be explosive. I hope EDHL does not rebound here. That'd be disastrous. It would be terrible. It would be the worst day ever. But based on tape volume rotation, fuck, SPRC, that's a little interesting. We're gonna need NEXR to lock in a little bit here. changed my mind about eating. This food's already really cold. EDHL, being a prick, being hard to deal with for sure. But you know, that's usually how the dominant runner is. It takes a while to break trend, and it usually is very, very strong at holding and maintaining a base. So I'm not really surprised by EDHL holding up this well. But like I said, under 6, that's when we'll break the trend on the 1 minute, and to me that's very crucial, especially for the next leg on NEXR. Reduces a lot of risk, and actually makes this. Oh wow. RPGL, what the fudge? Bunch of nonsense. They're all the way down to 375 now. Same with DBGI. Oh shit. Ooh. Okay, solid NEXR, but still EDHL is still maintaining $6, so we're gonna have to deal with some more chop. Might be more than what we just dealt with right now. NEXR, I refuse to be shaken out. I refuse. And I'm gonna keep saying that all the way until it's, I'll keep saying it until it's down to 50 cents. No, I'm just kidding. But no, seriously though, this bunch of liquidity grab there near 170s. I'm getting really tired, and I'm finding it hard to just keep tracing the tape and looking at multiple different stocks as well, and trying to see if something's accumulating for later. So I think realistically, if I don't find a very strong candidate for some sort of accumulation trade by the time I'm out of NEXR, then I'm just gonna call it there for the day. And also, I think we might see some chop here on NEXR, so I did scale that extra 4,000 that I bought, in hopes of maybe adding it back at a lower average. SPRC right now is pretty dominant. Yeah, that was one I mentioned earlier to you guys. I told you I wouldn't be surprised if it went 20 plus. It's something I would never trade it SPRC, but I think everyone could easily see that just, being a very decimating runner on the next, for the next couple hours. I scaled out some more NEXR. I'll add some more into the run, but with SPRC just completely dominating right now and crushing both the momentum one, a little bit of the momentum at least, and the way that it's starting to trade sideways, something I don't like at all. I'll grab some more on the dip, or on a breakout potentially, if the opportunity presents itself. But I just want to really minimize my risk right now, especially because I'm close to calling it a day, so. SPRC, fuck. $16 almost. YYGH. YYGH. Sorry, YVG. Why do I keep saying YYGH? YYGH. Alright. I swear there was another ticker in pre-market that I read the Y as a V. Or sorry, I read the V as a Y. And I thought it was that, but apparently it wasn't. I think this could set up later into the day. It's not something I'm going to trade, but something to keep on watch. Hey. FOXX broke down. EDHL, you see how the most dominant stock, like I was talking about earlier, they just have such a strong base, right? It's such a hassle waiting on such a dominant ticker to break trend. EDHL still holding up, still holding trend, so who knows, that could still go for more. It really could. I wouldn't be surprised at all if it went 10 plus today, or SPRC. SPRC could also see $20 plus as well. I'm not gonna lie, that one's absolutely explosive as well. So NEXR is getting tight here. I'm watching it very closely. Super unfortunate. I sold 170. And if I get chopped out here, I'm going to be upset, but it was a lotto at the end of the day, we're looking for that 210 breakout. If I get I'm still going to be a little upset for sure if I get chopped, but I really do want to find some sort of accumulation ticker, because I know that EDHL is starting to slow down now. YYG, we see more of a distributed market, and really the top gainers are just starting to die off slowly. ticker symbol ACCL. Started getting momentum out of nowhere. That's why I pulled it up right now. And it was kind of setting up pretty nicely into this move here at 193. So I got my eyes here for a sec. I think it'll be a little difficult for it to pick up and break two and just have so much volume, but I think it's possible. Just to watch for now though. I'm really at this point, because of how terrible the accumulation stocks have been and how limited options there are, I think I'm really impressed with pretty much anything. This ACCL move looks like a 50% move to me. So SPRC, I'm scanning, I'm looking at all my options. But it's gonna be EDHL, isn't it? EDHL is still holding trend set. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm thinking about, in my head, I'm like, something's gonna take the volume next. All the top gainers are boom. Well, EDHL never broke trend, not a single time. So fuck me if it takes high day. Like, stick to how long are you gonna keep going for, bro? EDHL does have that look though. It really does. It has that look of, hey, I'm here to dominate. I'm gonna be here for a couple hours. And just, we'll get a couple of different runs when it's consolidating, like this. But oh, SBEV looks insane. Wow. I think it'll be really hard for it to push back up, but that looks crazy. That looks insane. Yeah, I won't trade it. It's a little too late though, but wow. Can't believe I wasn't watching that earlier. I've been trying to trade these shitty fucking lottos on NEXR. I should have had my eyes more open. Fucking NEXR. I still like it. It's still in play. I took some. I'm back in the same position, and I think 1.8 past this. If we break and hold base 1.8, EDHL, it's breaking down right now, so that's what led me into looking into our NEXR again. If EDHL finally just closes under 6, just for the one time, we just needed to break under 6. NEXR pushes up to high day. We're all gonna be happy. It's a good setup. I actually think I'll size in more than just my original lotto position if we see another dip or on a breakout, just depending on EDHL, because EDHL can even come down to $2 and I'll look at it and I'll be like, you know what, I still think you can go all the way back up to high day. And SBEV, sure, it looks pretty threatening, but we already saw that FOXX broke down, which was really the #1 competitor of NEXR, while NEXR is still very much holding up and is very much present. So SBEV, on the other hand, is more of a going to be fighting against itself, really, from all the bag holders. People still stuck at 40s. It's going to be super, super hard to revive this. We've seen it happen before, rarely, very rarely, but it's, you know, it would be very, very surprising to me. But, you know, it's happened many times, so I'll say if SBEV ends up reviving itself from the dead all the way back up to high day, it would probably be the most impressive setup that I've seen this week, for sure. Because it's like, if you know, you know. Like, I mean, I don't know. A lot of people might probably look at SBEV and be like, "It's a good setup. I'll take that right now." Maybe it's just me. You know, everyone looks at the market in a completely different aspect. I'm looking at NEVR right now. Someone else might look at this and say this, or NEXR. Someone might look at this and say, "This is shit." Be like, "All right, I understand." To me, though, if SBEV were to revive itself, I would stand back and applaud for sure. I would be very surprised, and I try to learn from that as well. So, NEXR, it has to stop playing these games. Really, it's thin now, and it looks super, super ready to catch high a day at 211. It really does. It's been holding up through, you know, I'd say maybe like 7 different stocks have dumped, have lost momentum, and NEXR is still here. It's still accumulating. It's still holding up. We're still making higher lows, as you guys can see, and it's still building up. So maybe it traps and, you know, rejects 195 again if it does retest that, but I'm willing to take the odds that it doesn't. I'm going to hold it till high day again. So I'm going to keep a lotto position just because I do want to hold full until high day if it were to run. And if it doesn't break out here, I end up stopping out again, getting chopped out like I did last time. That's, by the way, guys, if you guys have been here a lot, if you're a regular who's, you know, regular viewer who's seen my live streams before, not anyone new, I've gotten chopped out 3 times today. If I get chopped out on NEXR here, or sorry, wait, no, I've gotten chopped out 3 times on 3 different trades. I still made profit on some of the stocks that I got chopped out on, but I've been chopped out 3 different times. I haven't been chopped out once in the last month. I'm on live every single day. The one thing I preach about is not being chopped out, right? I'm just avoiding situations where chop is possible. And today I got chopped out 3 different times, 3 different occasions, 3 different situations. So it's been a super interesting day for me. It's a little, I would say it's a mix of myself and also a very unique market today. Very, very unique. All the runners in pre-market just suddenly came in out of nowhere. It was super dry at first, so you know, we're adapting. I learned a little bit, you know, put that towards the next trades earlier. So, you know, you live and you learn. EDHL is now maintaining numbers under 6. SBEV testing 40 cents now. SBEV, pretty threatening right now. Testing 40 cents. Oh fuck. I don't know, did I mention HCAT? I think I did mention HCAT. It just popped up on my scare note right now. I was super interested in it because I saw that it was super low volume a couple minutes ago. Now it's starting to push up, gain that volume, but it's been trading this, box all day really, and I don't know. I'm not a fan of how it's been setting up, but idea was good. It's just the overall setup is not the best. NEXR has got to stop playing with us, bro. I'm not even phased every time it comes close to 1.9 or 2. I want 2.11. I don't want 2.05. So we'll just sit back and just chill. It's playing too many games. It's already chopped us out once. It's making it a headache. It's now or never. Oh, guys, come on now. Get that 2 break. Boom. All right. I'm a pussy. I sold. I'm a pussy. I didn't wait for high day. But I'll ride 4,000 shares. How about that? I just see that, there's still strong supply. It's if we triple top at 2 and I didn't sell just because I was waiting for an extra 10 cents, I'd be really upset. So, it has a history of rejection, and I'm gonna play it a little safe. So best idea would probably be secure, but it's got to go high day here, right? Come on, man. It's so explosive. It's been setting up. It's been accumulating. Nothing else has been holding up like this. Not even any accumulation trade that has no volume. It beats any stock with no volume in terms of holding up, accumulating. It's been there all day. You can't say the same for any other stock besides maybe HCAT, but HCAT is ugly, so you can't say the same for any stock that's appealing. At least it does really, really deserve high day, honestly, and I would be surprised if it doesn't get it. If it rejects 3 different times after accumulating for this long, holding up for this long, sweeping for this long. HCAT is breaking over, which is testing 2. It's gonna get it here. HCAT is getting above 2 as well, so it's kind of like a movie. We're seeing 2 different stocks compete. But NEXR should win because NEXR is more appealing. It's better looking. Oh, this looks so freaking good, guys. Wow. Oh my gosh. I gotta add some more. I can't. I'm gonna add back. I really want to be a part of this when it hits 210. It's probably not the best idea in terms of risk management to take another 4,000 shares. Hold of 1.9 on the 1 minute. Could be a little premature right now, especially if it doesn't hold 1 hour. Okay, all right. Oh, wow. Oh my gosh, 170. Jeez, bro. Jeez Louise. Well, I'm glad I didn't add the other 4,000 shares. That is so brutal. Oh my gosh. All right, I'm gonna cut it here. Fill it out 170. So brutal. Wow. That's why I secure your gains, guys. That's a bunch of bullshit, man. Whew, I was about to fucking slap it like crazy too. I really thought, you know, it really deserves to go, bro. And it's gonna keep playing all these games, and I don't want to be involved in it anymore. I'm not gonna deal with any of this shop, so I'm done with NEXR. I'm not gonna trade box to box for another hour or so until it ends up going eventually. I think really if HCAT 198, I think really if NEXR, I'm so sorry, if NEXR is gonna really chop out this hard and play games for this long, then maybe HCAT is worth trading up until high day. NEXR fucking. It's like a love-hate relationship between me and NEXR. I'm trying my absolute best to be here for that high day. I know it's coming. It's gonna come sooner or later. Sometime today, this is gonna be above high day, above 210. It absolutely deserves it. I love the action. I love the way it trades. Really, I do also. I really appreciate the chop on NEXR. Like, it was coming down all the way earlier when I stopped out, and it was all the way at like 164, and it gets to a point where like, we know how this trades. We've seen it chop all day. Look at this lower wick here. It's been so choppy every single time it's tested too. So when it was coming down, I wasn't tripping whatsoever, right? I was just like, I was kind of like caught off guard, but it was something very, I was just like, okay, whatever. But then it's like 175, 17. Then I'm like 16. I'm like, holy fuck! Like, how much longer until it grabs some liquidity in lower wicks? And it ended up grabbing some. I sold at 17, saved myself those 10 cents, 6 cents really, that a lot of people more than likely would have probably filled at 164 if their stop was anywhere under 170. So that was brutal. It was super, super brutal. But we know how this trades. I did get the better of it today. I think only due to the box to box action that it's been, trading within the entire day. that's why I'm probably not going to touch it anymore. But the action on NEXR is next level. It's incredible. It's amazing. You could tell it's building up for something great. I think it's going to be huge. I really do. I love it, but I can't justify trading it anymore. I really can't. But I will more than likely wake up from my nap just to check what NEXR is doing, because I'm going to be super, super interested in knowing if this ends up going or not. It's just one of those plays that's going to chop you out until you're just dead. It'll keep going and going until you're just done, right? You can't take it anymore. And, I got chopped out on this twice. We did take a lot of profit pushing into 2, mainly due to that reason of avoiding chop and, managing risk. But still, it's just the fact that I'm even getting chopped in the first place, that I'm in a situation where I allow myself to get completely like screwed in a 30-cent drop like this. It's like, I don't want to deal with that anymore, even though I love it. I do. And now, SBEV is starting to slow down. It's so primed. NEXR is just so gorgeous. It's so primed. What do you guys think? Yes or no? Should we do like a quick vote? We got 8 people in here, I think. Yeah, 8 people. Should we do a quick vote? Yes or no? Slap NEXR with 12,000 shares, and if we lose, it's your guys' fault. It's not mine. If you guys want, drop your votes in, yes or no. Let me know. Maybe wait for 190 breakout, maybe 175 breakout. Or sorry, 175 dips. But SBEV, not surprised, right? If it were to rebound really all the way back up, that would be mission impossible. But yeah, NEV, I think it's done. I think SBEV is done. I don't think that we're going to see much more pull on that later. I think that really looks pretty weak now. So I see nothing else setting up besides NEXR, and that's why I have a lot of confidence in it. And just the way it trades, the way it grabs liquidity, it's as if it's building up for something bigger. The only thing I'm not a fan of is just mainly the sideways box-to-box consolidation. Is about it. Do it, it wants to go. Yep. I mean, MOBX as well, starting to build up a little bit, but dead in my eyes, right? It's just too much to be able to bring that all the way back up. All right, well, until further notice, though, further notice being NEXR giving me an opportunity I just can't decline. I'm pretty much done for the day, up $7,200. Been a very rough day for me mentally. And yeah, I'm glad we stuck it through, especially, coming into market open. I had been up for, 5 hours already, 4 hours. And I was pretty exhausted, and then having to deal with getting chopped out twice in a row. It was tough. It was tough to recover from, but, I took a step back, understood what happened, analyzed the situation, and used what went wrong to, get me a trade that went right. And so, yeah, I'm going to stick around for probably like 5 more minutes, really just pay attention to NEXR. I really do want to get the 210 breakout here. Even if I'm not in it, I would love to see it happen. It would be very entertaining. So I also ordered Starbucks again because my food got cold. We were waiting for that one trade, and I don't even know which one it was. So I'll stick around a little bit for that. Maybe an opportunity comes up, but looks like really everything across the board right now is super, super dry. I don't see anything setting up really. I think a good chance something random comes in and just continues dominating for a while. Yeah, that's about it. If you guys got any questions, let me know in the chat. If you guys want to talk about anything, I'm up for it. While we just sit through all this boredom. Walk away, you are tired, bro. Yes, I know. It's alright though. It's, being tired is one thing, and being able to kind of push that aside and just let your body take the heat for it, and just I feel like I'm still there mentally. It's hard for me to like switch back and forth through all these tabs, analyze the tape on a stock so closely and then look at every other ticker that's also running, seeing what's holding up. That's been really challenging for me today, and I don't think it has to do with the fact that I'm just tired. I think today in general it's been so choppy. Everything across the board has been unreliable, and besides EDHL, which ended up coming a lot later than we thought, right? A trade like EDHL that would dominate for a while I feel like should have come earlier. It usually does come earlier, and that's what I was expecting. So just really everything today. Will I be live trading SPCX? What does that even mean? I don't know. SPCX? Oh, SPCX is probably because it's in the title of the video. SpaceX, no. NEXR, that dip there honestly was super healthy for a build up to high a day. It needed that grab at 165, so it's setting up nice. And my top watch really from early morning for an accumulation trade has been Turb TURB, but I mean clearly it's pretty much dead right now. DBGI was another one, but DBGI is also super difficult to trade. It catches volume quite literally out of nowhere, and so after already having made my profits for the day and traded a bunch of different setups, I think that it's not going to make sense for me to take DBGI after it already made a move up to $1, or just hawk it until it goes. It's going to be a mess. It's going to be a lot of work. All right, yeah, I'm going to call it here. NEXR, it's stretching out too long, sideways consolidating too long. It's been in this box for a while, but even though I got chopped out here twice, I did get the best of it today. I'm up $3,500 on NEXR. I think that's probably, number one was EDHL from pre-market, and then later into the day we also got that one, and after that, NEXR. So we did get the best of NEXR, didn't get the best of us. Unfortunately, if it doesn't end up going high a day, which at this point, how sideways it's trading and how sideways it's stretching, even I'm starting to doubt it. But if it does, oh well, we missed it. I'm not going to sit here any longer trying to catch it. And even if I was to keep looking for a setup for hours, I think just another 5 minutes of this sideways consolidation, I would throw it out. It's not even something I would consider trading if I was going to stay here for a while. But yeah, it's been a fun day. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Good luck trading. Be safe. Watch out for the chop, and yeah, should expect things to get a lot more stable. And I think we're gonna see that the day is gonna settle out for 2 hours like usual, 2.5 hours maybe, and then for lunchtime, and then from there we'll start to see 2 to 3 tickers. So for now, through lunch, I'd say I think one stock is just gonna dominate for a while, and then after that we'll see the volume start to spread out between stocks. After hours today, I'm gonna be trading after hours. After hours has been so exciting, so hot every single day. So, I will be trading after hours. I personally, if after 30 minutes from now, I wouldn't trade anything, until after hours if I even was gonna stay up and whatnot. But yeah, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you guys